Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to Inside Agriculture with me, Emmanuel Mwemba. Of course, in the studio, I'm not alone. I'm with my co-presenter, Claribel Musonda. Claribel, welcome to Inside Agriculture.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. How are you?
I'm good. And how have you been after a long time here on set?
I was missing in action.
Okay.
Went to harvest.
I tell you, I was expecting that to say it being the harvesting season.
Yes.
I was expecting you to go and harvest. And how were the outcomes actually? Zambia is projected to record a bumper harvest. I think you are also contributing to that.
4.9 million metric tons of maize. Yes, but I tried to. Maybe I'll contribute about 3 bags. Is that not enough? Come on.
No. Okay, that's enough. It's enough. As long as you are adding value, that is counted actually.
Exactly.
Great. Dear viewers, also in the studio we are joined by Lydian Kunda, who is project coordinator from Green Living Movement, and she's here to talk about the building community resilience in food and nutrition security through agroecology. Lydian, welcome to Inside Agriculture.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, and I'm so happy to be here.
Great. To kickstart the conversation, actually, Green Living Movement is implementing the building community resilience in food and nutrition security through agroecology. What is this project all about?
So like the name states, building. So this is a project that's actually trying to build the resilience of the small-scale farmers to the climate shocks. So the floods, the droughts, the extreme temperatures. You know, as a country, we actually get hit by different climates. So we are trying just to build the resilience of these farmers so they could cope with the shocks that come about in terms of climate change. And also on top of that, this is a project that's trying to build also the security as well as the food. The security of food as well as the nutrition of the smallholder farmers that we are working with.
Great. Sure. Actually, climate has become unpredictable.
Exactly.
And looking at these projects being implemented by Green Living Movement, I think they are timely.
Yeah, they are timely, especially with the small-scale farmers, whereby they need to understand the climate change.
Yes.
Lydian, another thing is, what are the objectives driving this project?
So this project is mainly focusing on just raising awareness on the importance of agroecology. We want to see as many farmers as possible adopt these practices because they respond to the climate shocks. We want them to be resilient. So we want to see at least an adoption from these farmers. But also we are trying to look at empowering the smallholder farmers with livestock as well as seed, which is local seed. So we promote local seed varieties, and this is what we are trying to. So in agroecology, there's purely no usage of chemicals. So we give our farmers local seeds, and this is what the project is focused on. So the food, the nutrition, as well as income security is actually the heart of this project.
So purely, they don't use any synthetic. They will just use natural seeds, natural chemicals.
Natural chemicals. Everything that we preach in this project is purely natural. We do not use any synthetic or chemical inputs.
Great. Now, who are the beneficiaries of this project, and for how long will this project last?
The project began in 2023. So initially when it started, we began with only 300 farmers. But as of last year, September, there was an increment in terms of beneficiary households. So we increased from 300 to 500 farmers. So we'll be working with 500 farmers in Mumba district, or Shimbiji. We are in Shimbiji ward of Mumba district. And the project will be running for the next 3 years. So it started in 2023. The first phase came to an end last year. We have an extension of 3 years. So the project is going to end in 2025. So we still have it running up to 2028.
And are there plans of extending it to other districts apart from Mumba only?
If anything, we would really want this project to go everywhere in the country because we've seen the benefits that it brings to the farmers. So if resources as well as partnerships allow, we would want to expand this project to even other areas apart from Mumba.
So all these years you've just been implementing the project in Mumba only?
Yes, we just focused on Momba, yes.
Okay, so what are the key activities that are being implemented under this project?
So there are quite many. I'll speak of just a few. So firstly, like I earlier mentioned, we are focusing on the promotion of crop diversification. So in agroecology, like I said, we are not giving our farmers chemically, inputs. So we give them seeds, which is purely local seeds. So in terms of crop diversification, we empower our farmers with local seeds. So we've also constructed a seed bank, which is community-led, and this is a bank that houses up to 56 varieties of local seeds. So when you go to Mumbwa in Shimbiji Ward of Chief Mumba, you'll find the facility there with the varieties that I've stated here. And also apart from that, we are trying to also help farmers have access to clean drinking water, not just for drinking, but also production. So one of the issues that our farmers face in Mumbwa is actually water scarcity. So just to help them, continue with the production in, for example, in drought situations, we've been putting up boreholes, but also fencing up some sites where they do gardening. And on top of that, we also empower our farmers with livestock, small livestock. So we give them goats as well as village chickens. On top of that, we've actually been working with various media houses, Zanis being one, yes, to disseminate the information about agroecology, because we also want policymakers to get to know about this, and we are also trying to push for a strategy that could actually help in terms of adopting the agroecology that we are promoting as an institution. And also, we've established a platform at district level where different stakeholders have actually been brought together. So we have the civil society organizations present there, we have government departments, we have farmer representatives, we also have traditional leaders present, as well as media houses. So these are the stakeholders that have actually been brought together to discuss issues of climate change, to discuss issues of agroecology and how farmers can actually adopt as well as become resilient to the effects. And also we just put resources together to actually implement some of the activities that help our farmers. So those are just quite a few of the many activities. If I go one by one, we can spend the whole time here.
Great.
So yeah.
Actually, you did state that the project is in its third year. So far, from the observation that you have undertaken, what changes have you observed since the project began?
Well, when you're introducing a new concept to the people, normally it comes with stigmatization, people not just wanting to associate themselves with it. So when we started this, it was quite not so welcomed, and especially when you say agroecology, some of these terminologies that we use quite confuse the farmers. So you have to break it down to the level that they understand it. So we had to interpret it. So normally this is something that they've actually been doing. They just do not know what agroecology is. So in Tonga, we call it bulimi bukalilila. And when we mention that, they realize it's actually the practices that their fathers, their grandparents were actually practicing. So at first, the adoption rates were very low. But as we go on with our implementation, we've actually seen some overwhelming results, where when we started, a lot were actually stopping, we lost some beneficiaries, but now a lot of people, even those that are not part of the project, want to join because they've seen the benefits of this project. So they want to join the project, they want to be beneficiaries. And also we've seen the adoption rates increasing. There was literally some of the local seed varieties had gone into extinction when we entered the district. So by building that community-led seed bank, which is sitting in Shimbiji Ward, we've actually noticed that now we have a diversity of local seeds, we have a diversity of, crops that farmers have actually, and that is trying to help, promote the nutrition security that we are preaching about, as well as the food. Because for a farmer to become nutritional as well as food secure, you don't have to depend on one type of food. For example, if it's just maize shima, shima in the morning, shima during the day, and shima at night. So now, I think with the coming of the project and also the promotion of the different varieties of local seeds, I think we've seen the nutritional levels going up, and also just a lot of partners wanting really to be part of this project and promoting it as well.
Great. You know what got my attention?
Yes.
Is the confusion of terminologies. You may find that you are practicing agroecology without knowing. Yeah.
You know, when I get chicken manure, I put in my garden. That's the agroecology.
Yes. Sure.
Because I'm not using the fertilizer.
Very
but
true.
we've been using that, but we don't know.
And
thank God you are able to explain. Yeah. You've talked about the changes in terms of livelihoods, as well as income. What other changes have you observed in the communities during your implementation of this project?
The other changes that we've actually noticed, so this project is one project that's empowering farmers with small livestock. And so you know what that means to a farmer. So in a climate like ours, like this year, we are expecting the El Nino. And as a farmer, you don't need to just depend on crop agriculture. So agriculture is in different forms, and livestock being one. So with the coming in of this project has helped a lot of farmers have access to livestock, such as goats and chickens, and we've seen them at least earning some income for their households, to support their households, especially the women. You can really see how most of the women have actually come wanting to be part and parcel. They've actually taken this development as theirs. So the men, they don't want to be part of the project. We have some men, but you know, it is when a woman is the one that embraces the development, trust me, the community will not be the same.
Exactly.
And we are so impressed that we have so many women who are part of this project, who are driving the development of their community.
Which is good for the country.
Exactly.
Remember the saying which says, educate a woman and you educate the whole nation.
Community,
so when you educate a woman in terms of agroecology farming, you are educating the whole nation, because all the children,
the information will be
passed on
to generations to
exactly.
come.
That's exactly what is happening, because we've noticed that even young ones now, even in schools, they're actually trying to replicate the same practices, putting up some gardens and stuff like that. So they are copying from their parents. So this is something that we've noticed. Okay, the project is working, because there was no such practices. They were not so common in the beginning, but now.
And I think that also prompt me to ask this question. You have talked about schools, and education actually play an integral role in shaping our thinking capacity. How are you engaging schools, especially those who are doing agriculture science, to ensure that students are fed with right information?
As an institution, everywhere we are operating, we actually work with schools. One area that we focus so much when it comes to working with school-going children is the issue of tree planting. Apart from that, we also establish home gardens. Yeah, so we teach them. So normally when we have trainings, we invite the school management to come. We invite learners to come and be part of the trainings. Whenever we are having an awareness on climate change and the effects, we invite learners to come and learn, because we know they are the future leaders. So we want them to be imparted with the right information, so that when they grow up, they know exactly how to respond to the climate shocks. And also we even support them with the right materials that they need to carry out their activities, like tree planting. For example, in Shimbiji, where we are working, we are working with 3 schools. So we've put up some sites where they do nurseries. We've fenced those sites, there's water there, then we also support them with the polypots and also seed. So we bring together the learners as well as the teachers, train them on how to grow seedlings, how to manage it. When it grows, every learner benefits. They either collect one seedling, take it home, or sell, and that money is utilized to feed the learners. You know, now the government has introduced the school feeding program.
Yes.
So that really helps. And also what our farmers are growing. Actually, we tell the farmers to supply what they are growing to the schools. because we want to see the nutrition of these learners improve, not just them feeding on maize, boiled maize, but having like a diversity of food, so that at least as they grow, their development is not disturbed because they're eating the right food.
Lydian, are you saying that the school feeding program, it's now a market for those farmers to supply their products?
Exactly.
So meaning, what other markets did they have before the government introduced the school feeding program?
We are actually still trying to pursue the government to at least provide more markets for our farmers who are in agroecology. As you know, FRA does not buy the local seeds. They refer to it as grain. And our farmers have actually been crying. So what we've done as NGOs, we haven't just been quiet. There are platforms that actually provide market for the farmers. We have what we call a National Seed and Food Festival that's held annually here in Lusaka. So we invite our farmers from different parts of the country to bring their produce, to exhibit as well as sell. So that's one platform that
When does
provides,
it come annually?
We have it every October.
Oh, so we are going, man.
You
Yeah,
should.
we are going.
You're
We are
most
going.
welcome.
It's a
You are
must.
It's
invited.
a must.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we also participate in national agriculture and commercial shows, not just national, from block, district, provincial, as well as national. So when our farmers are invited to these platforms, they come with their produce, they come with their seed, and these are markets where they sell their seeds and produce.
Great. I also want to find out what role are local leaders and government institutions playing in the implementation of this building community resilience in food and nutrition security through agroecology.
So the government, when you speak of the government institutions, the departments, you also speak of local leadership. I think these are key players. These are our key stakeholders in implementing this project, because we understand that as an institution single-handedly, we cannot do it without the help of others. So with the local leadership, these are the ones that actually help us mobilize the communities. They are the ones who help us disseminate the information. I would give an example of the village head persons. They've actually been very key in helping us disseminate the information that we want sent to the farmers. They help us bring the farmers together. You know how it is at community level. Mostly, these people have more authority than even me, an officer from Lusaka. So when a village head person says, this is what is supposed to be done, farmers are more likely to adhere. So we use them as people to help us bring farmers together. Then, for government departments, these are the people now that provide technical expertise. So we carry out trainings, for example. We are not agriculture people. I might not have an agricultural background, but I know I can handle this project because we already have these institutions established in the districts where we are operating. So we use these departments to help us carry out trainings. They provide extensional services and just technical advice where we are lagging as an institution.
Great.
So local leaders are playing a key role, especially in dissemination of information. They've got authority.
Very much.
And so many success stories, Madam Lillian. What about the challenges you've been facing during the implementation of this project?
I'll speak of a few challenges, and one of the most, I think, is the climate variabilities. We are speaking of climate change. We are in a climate change era. So anytime climate can change, it can overrain, it doesn't rain. So that's one issue that we've actually been grappling with as a project. I remember when the project just started in 2023, that's when the country was hit by that drought. And you can imagine what that means to the farmers. They literally lost everything. Even the money that we invested in procuring local seeds went to waste. So that is one area that we are trying to also build the capacities of our farmers. That's one area that has actually affected the project. But aside that one, we've also noticed that there's actually over-reliance from farmers on conventional agriculture. So yes, you can be preaching about agroecology and wanting farmers to adopt, but they are not letting go of the conventional. They are not letting go of the synthetic.
They are attached.
Exactly.
Programmed.
Exactly. They are actually programmed.
Programmed. Wired.
So we are trying to work on their mindsets first. Because trust me, you cannot change a person without
You
changing
start with
their
the mind, yes.
So we are trying our level-based as an institution to work on the mindsets of the farmers, help them understand what these chemicals mean to their land, what it means to their health, what it means to their food system. So I think as we go on preaching, we hope to see some changes. Another challenge that we've actually faced is limited resources, finances that I would refer to. So, we would want to cover as many farmers as possible. If resources allow, we would even want to expand this project to the entire country, but we don't have those resources. And other farmers who are not part of the project have actually been complaining that, no, we've sidelined them, we are discriminating, but that's not the case. We just don't have the resources to bring on board everyone that is interested.
You talked about you are partnering with other partners. Don't they help with the little resources?
They do, but it's actually not enough to cover the masses.
So you need more partners.
We need more partners. Yeah. So we are trying to solicit for more funding so that we can reach as many people as possible.
Great. Sure. Now, you said this is the 5-year project. What measures have you put in place to ensure that the benefits of these projects continue after it ends?
So one of the measures that have actually been put in place is us trying to capacitate the local people, capacity building them. So we train them, we empower them, so that even when the project ends, that knowledge remains with them. Also, by giving them a seed bank that we've established, it's run by them, it's managed by them. We've empowered them to run that facility on their own without our interference. Mm-hmm. So even when we are gone as an institution, there should be that ownership. On top of that, I've mentioned that we've actually been working with different government departments that are aligned to this project. The reason why we brought them on board from the onset is for sustainability purposes, because they own the project. When we leave, we exit as an institution, as GLM, we know that the agricultural office will take it up from where we ended. Livestock is there to help our farmers, get the sustainability they need. So we are trying to bring as many players in this implementation as possible, so that even as the project comes to an end, there should be that continuation.
Okay, thank you so much. So after the project ends, are there plans, since you have limited resources, to expand as you are implementing? Are there any other plans to start another projects in another area apart from Mumbwa?
So we are not just in Mumbwa as JLM. We are actually in 10 districts of the country. Okay. Mumbwa is just one. Okay. So we are in Sinazongwe, where we are implementing a similar kind of a project, although this one has to do with climate justice, but it has the component of agroecology. So let me just say, everywhere where we are present as an institution, we actually have the component of agroecology. So normally what we do is we just don't stick to one area. We want this information to be taken to the other area just like that, so that we expand our reach.
So what will happen after the projects end in all these 10 provinces as an organization?
What happens? We normally do not stop. So let me tell you this. We are establishing centers of excellences. So what that means is, even when the funder cuts their funding today, as an institution, we will not cut our relationship with the farmers. I would give you an example. In Serenja, where we started operating in 2000, when the organization was just established, we were receiving funds, then at some point, nothing. as I speak here, there's nothing that's happening in Serenja in terms of funding. We don't have any funding, but we've continued working with the farmers that side. So we also mobilize resources as an institution, not just depending on donor funding. We mobilize resources that help with the farmers, carry out. There are certain activities that we do outside projects that actually help farmers. So we want to continue with the trainings, refresh their minds. You know how it is when a farmer stays 5 years, the information actually. So as an institution, we continue our collaboration with the farmers even after funding has been cut. Great. So we are not stopping. Great. As an institution. Funding might not continue, but we are continuing
with the relationship
with the relationship and also other. Yes, exactly,
okay.
And just supporting them in the little way we can.
Great.
I know we can go on and on discussing this important topic, but under a minute, looking at this project, what impact do you hope it will have on Zambia's agriculture and nutrition landscape?
Wow, the impact we really want this project to have, we really hope to see farmers getting more resilient, farmers diversifying, farmers becoming food, nutritional as well as income secure. We really want to see a broader adoption of agroecological practices, not just in Mumbwa, not just in Gwembe, where we are operating as an institution, but the whole country. So we want to see as many farmers across Zambia adopt the agroecology practices, and we also want to see these communities become more resilient to the shocks of climate effects.
Right. Claribel, building climate agricultural practices in Zambia is a shared responsibility between the government
and the farmers.
Exactly. Also not forgetting the private sectors.
Yes.
They've got a role to play in this initiative.
To maintain the agroecology, the terminologies that we are failing to understand. So starting from today, start the research.
Very much. We need to do that.
I can give you that information.
You can give us information, please give us so that we understand these terminologies.
Sure,
as usual. Otherwise, Madam Lilian Kunda, thank you so much for making an appearance on Inside Agriculture.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't take this for granted.
Great.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, this is where we've come to the end of Inside Agriculture, and in the studio we had project coordinator from Green Living Movement, who was just here to shed more light on how the building communities in food and nutrition security through agroecology project is making a real difference in communities out there. This entails Zambian communities that promoting sustainable agriculture is a shared responsibility between the government, farmers, citizens across the country, and the private sector involvement. From me, Emmanuel Mwemba, and my co-presenter, Claribel Musonda, not forgetting the entire Zanis production team, this is where we say goodbye and continue enjoying the rest of our programming.